and welcome to Good Afternoon Capital. I'm Shasha Jamal. Join me for the next 4 hours, continuing for our 12 hours live to get new updates on technology, business, and to find out the top 5 tourist destinations in Malaysia. But before that, for our daily news highlights, let's take a look at today's bulletin update. Welcome to their CEO of the day, and today we have Dr. Janson Ang, the CEO of Janson Group, joining us in the studio. All right, Janson.
Hi.
Welcome to Capital TV. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, no problem. Our pleasure. So you're the CEO of Janson Group. Can you tell us more about yourself? And what were you doing before Janson Group?
Well, I first started off at an early age of 16 when I was maneuvering between my studies and my work. What I do is every time after school, I'll go back and help my parents. It's a family business. Very engineering related stuff. Spend most of my time learning, from my dad and also all the employees there about how to do business, and what does it take, to run a business and things like that. So I've been buckling myself since I was at the age of 16, and towards about 27, while I'm still helping up my family business. As of until now, I actually also created my own my own company as well. This is where the Janson Group comes. Janson Group is more to the lifestyle side of it, where you can see most of the establishments are all very lifestyle driven. It's into events management, artist management, basically entertainment industry. We also got an IT company, which is more focusing on the software side, where we have developers to develop websites, mobile apps. These are all the trendy stuffs, all the very lifestyle sort of driven industry, comparing to those that previously I'm being exposed to, which is very mundane, very boring. Every day is all about technicality, and things like that. So so basically I'm maneuvering between both entities together. Basically, I'm still taking over what my father has left, and also at the same time doing something out of my own passion as well.
What exactly does Janson Group do when it comes to entertainment?
When I first started Janson Group is just like an umbrella company with a few subsidiaries in it. So that's how we cluster it as a group of companies. When I first started off under the Janson arm, I started off with events management because I myself personally enjoy going to events, because I'm an events believer actually, because to me I think God is very fair. Everyone has just 24 hours, and how many meetings can you meet? How many people can you know in a day, right? Unlike to going events, because I noticed that events can be very powerful, especially when you go out and do networking and things like that. In one event itself, you can know like 20-30 people at one time, you see. Very time savvy, very effective and things like that. So I love attending events basically. In every of my leisure time, I go for events and everything. So I thought, hey, why not, I form something that I have interest in, and that's where, I started creating an agency to actually serve the clients' needs of all their events expectation. Yeah.
All right, I see. So you mentioned just now there's subsidiaries under Janson Group, right?
Correct,
you have 29. If I'm not
yes,
mistaken.
all in all, 29 subsidiaries.
Can you tell us more about them?
Well, aside to events, we also do backstage management. We call ourselves fashion management. So we have been dealing with all the fashion clienteles. We do a lot of backstage like choreographies, and things like that, makeup, hairstyling, and things like that, preparing for the show. Right? So it's very fashion management related. Aside to that, I also have my IT arm, which I explained much earlier. Basically, we are a software developer. We develop websites for our clients. We do native apps. As you know, mobile apps is actually getting very, very, very popular now. Everywhere you turn is basically apps, right? So we also didn't want to lose in that aspect, and we see that there is a certain potential of growth in that industry as well, especially having said that now everything is moving very vibrantly and everything. So we also want to be in following the trend as well. So that's where I created an agency, a developing agency where we help clients to build apps and systems and things like that. Very, very, it also involves technicality, like all the electrical and mechanical engineering, but this is more to the coding side. Of course, I don't do codes myself, but I do have a very strong team of developers with me, basically.
Who can code?
Yeah, who can code.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you took on the role of CEO at a very young age as well, at 27. Even though you started working in a business with your father at 16, 27 is also still very young. So do you face any challenges at all during those times?
I'm actually very blessed and also very lucky, like I mentioned earlier, because I started at a very, very young age, at the age of 16, when my friends are still lepaking, and still playing and, fooling themselves. I started at a very young age. It gives me an added advantage in that because I've got to expose myself into the industry much earlier while I'm still studying. And it actually helps me in bootstrapping my business journey, my career, knowing more things comparing to my fellow friends. Not only that, as I mentioned, we are basically still studying at that time, so it also helped me a lot in terms of my thesis and my case studies, because I can relate things in a better perspective. Of course, when there is good, there is always bad as well. I think one of the things, I won't say it's bad, but it limits me a little bit when I first started at that young age, because I think when you are selling something, you need to be very seasoned, and I think age does carry a certain weight as well. Client tends to not trust chikus, like a young boy going and trying to propose something and sell something. So it takes a lot of sheer determination, and courage for you to keep knocking and knocking, bleeding and bleeding, exploring what are the ways and angles in order to, to overcome that, right? So I think basically if I were to derive one major factor, that slows me down a little bit, or probably the problem, that I face, it's basically the age factor. Yeah, but other than that, I think everything is smooth. Yeah.
Lucky you.
Lucky, very lucky. Yeah.
So now I know that Janson Group has like charity works and they do events. You do events and stuff. But what is actually the main aim of Janson Group?
Main aim of Janson Group. Janson Group is basically a business, a profiting angle sort of entity. So we are there to just do sales, build branding, and continue moving on from there. You touched on a little bit about the charity side of it. Yes, actually I've came out of goodwill. I actually created my own charity foundation as well. It's called The Giving Bank. The Giving Bank is a non-governmental organization, and it's also a non-profiting angle as well. This organization, this NGO, basically it's there to give to the needing society, to help those who is really in need. Yes, yeah. So that's more on the charity side of it.
So is the charity also one of the services Janson Group provides?
No, totally different. It's a standalone by itself.
It's a standalone.
Yeah, it's a standalone.
So what
by
other
itself.
services does Janson Group has?
We are into cooling system.
Cooling system.
Yeah, cooling system. I believe you have seen some of the Mist fans out there. We call them evaporative coolers. Quite largely used in restaurants and cafes. Yeah, so we are one of the pioneer in that, bringing this technology down, and we also fabricate all the fans and things like that. Aside to that, we are also into lighting system. We do street lightings. We supply to government bodies.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are some of the arm under Janson Group. We also have an artist management company. We do artist endorsements, brand endorsements. We propose the right ambassadors to the clients. Yeah.
All right, amazing. Yeah. We'll continue our interview afterwards.
Sure.
But right now we're taking a short break and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to With Their CEO. I'm still here in the studio with Janson, so let's continue with our interview. So Janson, before we went for the break just now, you have mentioned about the Giving Bank.
Yep.
So you found the Giving Bank with 5 of your friends, right?
7 actually, because that is the minimum requirement to to form a NGO.
All right.
Yeah.
So what is actually the aim of the Giving Bank?
Basically, the Giving Bank, it's a charity foundation where we look out for people who is in need, and we are there to actually serve them, answering their difficulties, giving them some shoulder to lean on during their during their struggling period and things like that. We are the bank that gives. Basically, it's some sort of like an online crowdfunding platform, but crowdfunding, it's very largely used in business and venture. But this idea came along to me that digitalization is the key area of focus now. So we're trying to move away from the conventional way of running an NGO or a yayasan that needs to solicit money manually, bid up manually, issuing receipts manually. Everything is very manual based. So we're trying to take charity into a different perspective. It's more of like a Ubering style. Like the moment you get off the Uber, you can get an automated receipt on your email instantly, right? So the whole concept of this is to encourage the Malaysian society, the public, those who believe in giving, to come join us, because we alone cannot do everything. Right? So we want to educate more people to give what they can afford. It doesn't need to be in a very big sum. We in charity, we always say that if you have the energy, you serve in energy. If you have the money, you give in money. So we are also steering towards that direction, mainly focusing into three main areas where we focuses into education, health, and also humanity culture. Yeah. Why these three? It's because education and health, to me, is the most important element of every life. Education, to me, it's very important, especially for the poor, is because they have been deprived from going to school because their parents may not be able to afford, to fork out their studies, and things like that. And if they do not get the right track towards education, the poverty of the gene is just going to continue. Very soon they're going to have they're going to build their own family, and because they do not have proper education, they cannot find good job, and they cannot serve their family needs again, and it's going to continue and continue and continue. So I always believe in breaking the poverty cycle, and the one of the most important aspects is education. I think education enlightens a lot of people in many ways. Yeah, so this is why we strongly believe in this main pillar. Yeah.
All right. So is it more of like a collective donation, or is it more of a humanitarian kind of work, like an on-field program to you?
We do both, actually. We have two divisions under the Giving Bank. We have the monetary side and also the volunteering side as well. So those who wants to subscribe to us or to be part of us doing volunteering activities, they can actually just write into us through our website, and we will sniff around if there are any jobs required, charity projects that require volunteering activities. Then we will blast it out to them, and we'll get them in as well. On the monetary side is we have standby funds because most of the donors would just donate randomly, or they can also be very selective into certain campaigns. Like I have a certain soft spot into this, I have no soft spot in that, so they can actually pick and choose where they want to help, and how they can help. Yeah, so they can actually pledge their donation and their support through the Giving Bank. And like I mentioned, we are a non-profit entity, so everything that we receive is basically for the beneficiary. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing what you're doing. So it's amazing. Is it international, or is it just national, like Malaysia?
Currently only in Malaysia,
Okay.
But as we speak, I've got a few friends in different countries. It's already starting to talk to us, but I think we are not expanding ourselves so quickly yet because we have just turned 1 year old. On the 8th December, few days before, was our birthday. We celebrated our first year anniversary. And within this 1 year, we have actually completed 29 charitable projects and have helped, rather said, about 1,600 over beneficiaries all in all, just all within 1 year. So I think we are doing pretty good in that aspect, and we are looking for a better year in 2018, and then probably might consider, tranching
Expanding
out into
more.
other countries as well. But with one very strong belief that I think the money stays.
Okay.
Like, for example, Malaysia donors or the Malaysian funds will only be used to help the Malaysians. So assuming that I have another branch in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong donations will only help the Honkies, right?
Okay.
So where we solicit, it's where it stays, basically.
Amazing.
So we do not, we limit the issues of, remitting funds here and there. There may be issues such as laundering and things like that. So we try to cut clean, make it clean, in that aspect.
It's probably easier that way too.
I think it's very,
Safer
very much
and-
safer and easier that way,
So currently, there's a few campaigns going on under Giving Bank. Would you like to share more about those?
We have 4 campaigns ongoing.
Okay.
One of it is Christmas, very near.
All
So
right.
we're bringing some of the orphans out to theme park, so they can actually get out from their four walls to explore, what is outside, the orphanage home. Bring them out to have fun, among themselves. We're bringing them to Berjaya Times Square.
Square.
There's an indoor theme park there.
Yeah.
So we're going to get them all sweating and have fun, all the way. And then after that, we will migrate ourselves to a lunch. So this is a collaboration with the Berjaya Hotel, Berjaya Times Square Hotel. So they're providing lunch for the kids and everything. We have some Christmas carols. We have some lineup performances for the kids and everything. And then we're going to give them gifts as well, some goodies, and we're going to give them teddy bears for them to bring back,
Amazing.
for their Christmas present.
Okay.
So this is one of our up and coming very, very soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to share? If
We,
not,
we have plenty actually. It's an ongoing thing, It does, charity to me just doesn't stop. You see, as we are working on the Christmas thing, we have some other planning of projects coming up already. So it's a charity. I think to me it's an ongoing thing. So long as you have the ability to give, you have the ability to shower your love. Why limit it, right? It's beyond borders. So just do what it makes you happy. Do what that could benefit other people who are less fortunate comparing to ourselves.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, so now last but not least,
Yep.
I would like you to give some business tip to our viewers who might want to start up their own business or have already started up but still trying to, get control into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would probably say it in 2. One, it's business is never easy. It's a journey that you have to upkeep for a very, very long time. So you will really need a lot of perseverance and determination because as and when you are into business, you tend to face with challenges and hiccups. Things may not be so smooth, and things like that. So never give up. So that's the reason why I say perseverance is very, very important. The sheer determination of wanting to pursue your dream is very important. And not forgetting age is never a limit. Myself, as an example, I started at a very, very young age. So never fear of that, I'm still young, I don't think I can do it, and things like that. It's okay. When you are young, this is where you have to explore you have to maximize your potential. And it's always better to fail when you're young comparing to when you are much older. So just go on, explore, all right? And yeah, if you're into business, probably build your brand, focus on brand, not the sales, because I always believe that the branding, the image is very, very important. Sometimes people may focus too much on sales and they forget to build their reputation at the same time. So I think reputation is very important. When you have the reputation, sales will come consistently. And love all people, basically. Love your staffs, love your families, because in business you need a lot of connection, and human friends are all the closest ties to whenever you need help, they are just there. So be good to people. This is very, very important. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Janson, for joining us on the CEO today.
Thank you so much.
It's a beautiful thing what you're doing. Personally, I think it is a beautiful thing. So keep doing what you're doing. It's great.
I will. Yeah.
Thank you again. And now, let's take a look at today's episode of Social Entrepreneur.